Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. And finally, Blake Moynes has spoken in this interview with Ben Higgins. Former Bachelors discuss falling in love. As Blake says, you can see it right here. Let me get the Harry Potter wand. It was easy to fall in love with Katie Thurston. He also talks about the expectations he had for Claire Crowley. Crowley, I'll never figure it out, before that season started. And he says, I'm gaining back control in my life. Blake speaks. Let's get into it. I'll play a couple clips. You can go listen to the whole thing. Do me a favor. Speak to me, baby. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And we got a lot of moms out there. A lot of moms of Bachelor Nation are watching this channel. I'm getting messages from contestants' moms. Who knew old Davey Neals was going to be so hip with the moms out there? Where are the dads at? Can we get some dads too? Come on, join the party. All right. So, and by the way, shout out to Emily Moynes, Blake's mom. She's been so kind. They sent Tasha and I a Christmas gift this year. How nice is that? They sent Tasha a bracelet with a little turtle, and you can type in the code, and it'll show you the turtle and it'll track where the turtle visit. How nice is that? And the money and proceeds go to conservation. So anyway, Blake's getting back into the ring as it appears, and we're going to cover that right now. This channel, we are filming this live on Patreon, which is a private membership-only community. So if you want to watch how we make this video and have real behind-the-scenes conversations about the villains that we're talking to and the things that we're not allowed to say on air and all the other side stories, if you want to hear that in real time, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal, and you can catch up on hundreds of hours of content plus live stand-up comedy and all that jazz. All right, folks. So let's play this clip, then we'll play the audio. Here's the first clip. Blake and Ben.
Like that, I mean, obviously, you go on this television show. It's, 12 weeks of filming. It's a condensed environment. There's a lot of really fantastic dates. You have no distractions. Nobody's pulling at you to do anything. Do you feel like being on the show had a similar feeling for you, where even, yourself or the guys involved, or for Katie and Claire, you were getting a false sense of what life looked like?
Can we normalize getting them better microphones? That's all.
Yeah. I mean,
he sounds good.
The thing is, though, I'm not specifically speaking to, Claire, Tasha, Katie, like building. I built Claire up for sure, but the other two, not necessarily. But when I got there, yeah, I mean, everything was perfect there. Everything was perfect there. And, I think that's a combination of things. I think we really did vibe and mesh really well when I'm talking about Katie specifically. But, we didn't have one thing hold us back, really. I mean, aside from, some of the Greg stuff that happened, our dates, every conversation we had, it was up and up. We didn't have a little setback. So just like, it was easy to fall in love. It was easy to get there. It was easy to feel like this was the most incredible thing ever.
And I believe that, you guys aren't, I don't make it, unknown that I got the chance to meet them together, and they seem like a happy couple. When Tasha and I got done hanging out with them, we were like, yeah, they seem happy, you know what I mean? But then you get pulled apart, you all your insecurities come out when you go back to your work. And look at Riley and Marissa, right? They fell in love. The next thing you know, they're in New York City, and God knows what happened. So, life hits you. So Blake's going to discuss why he put Claire on a pedestal and why that's a bad idea. This is actually good advice for a lot of people, to not overly invest in people based on what their social media says. They're like, you got to meet these people in the flesh.
First, and then when I got the first call, I was Canadian.
So this is going to be audio only. Close your eyes, meditate, count your chakras, blow on a crystal, whatever you got to do, whatever, and just have a listen.
I was going to get on this U.S. show. Then when I had my first interview, I had a good feeling I was going to get on. Then I started taking it seriously. And then I started blanking out girls in my life. And I was like, I'm going to take this seriously. It's going to be potentially Claire or two others. And so I just dove in. And then when you got there, well, I would say 3 months before, when I found out I was going to be Claire, then I started really diving in and being like, hey, how can I learn everything about her? That's where I made the mistake of building her up to be like, this is the one.
Yeah.
That's the mistake I continue to make. And that's why I'm done now building up someone based on what I think they are on Instagram or before I even meet them. And that's where a new approach. We can talk about that later as to how I'm going to go about
talk about it now.
Girls down the line.
We can talk about it now too. What is your new approach?
Man, I just think that, we have all these apps, we have Instagram, we have all these things where we can get so attracted to somebody because people spill their life through social media. Mm-hmm. So you can get attached to that and thinking of, somebody based on an app or social media or photos or video, and then it can come to real life and it's not organic. The vibe isn't there. The energy isn't there. And you like almost, you set yourself up for failure because it's not organic. It's not like the old days where people met organically and it was like this.
That's where I live. I live there.
Nice. You know what I mean? Like I want to try it like the old days. I want to meet you in person. I don't want to put an emphasis on what I think you are before I meet you. And so taking a step back from doing that.
So he wants to meet people in person. I got this great TV show idea where a couple of guys buy an Airbnb and then they're like hopelessly trying to find out how to fall in love, but they keep on not succeeding with their social media and their Tinder and all that. And then an old couple, I'm talking old, like mid-80s, they stay at the Airbnb and start giving them the wisdom of their times and how they met on a park bench and did all these things slow and didn't stalk each other and let the relationship breathe. And it's a nice way for older generations to please younger. Just a thought I had. Hopefully no one steals it. We'll be on CBS in 2024.
Forward.
Do you find you find any of that comes from maybe like a personal either insecurity or maybe even a personal like inflated ego? For me, it came from a place of insecurity. I would see people on social media or I'd see them in public.
Yeah.
And I would build them up and I would never feel like I could be good enough for them. I never felt like I could connect with them. And so I'd end up just retreating and pushing away and never actually allowing myself to get to know them as a human. So for you, where does that come from?
Like, so you're asking me, why did I build them up on Instagram?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, why do you build these people up to a place where you're so into it already, like you're so committed to it already that like it ultimately is probably going to be a little disappointing once you finally get to be around them because nobody's as great as their social media. Nobody's as great as what they are on television.
Well, that's the issue is like, I'm realizing that that's the case. So, I would just build them up based on what they're showing me. But then when I come to real life, like social media gives us a false indication of what people are. And I realized that. So it's not necessarily that I'm building up because I didn't think that I was going to be good enough for them. You can lay out all your best cards on social media.
All right. So essentially Claire had the same issue. He built Claire up. Claire built Dale up. Right. And that's why the show tries to meet people before social media. Although I will say for Blake, I mean, did he get to, you know what? I guess he did get to know, he did get to know Katie beforehand, right? That was a unique scenario, whereas John Hersey, although I guess the contestants, hold on, folks. I'm having a little bit of a brain meltdown here. I need my chakras are full of gunk. I need to exfoliate my chakras, as you guys say. Like that wink. So the contestants do get to wax poetic on the lead of the show beforehand. Usually they know. Not this season. They didn't know Clayton, right? So they kind of went in blind. But in Blake's season, he showed up to Katie being like, I think I like Katie. I think I like what she's all about. And it doesn't mean Katie's a bad person. It just means we're more dynamic than what we let off on our social media. Social media is just the highlight reel. It's not the everyday. And some people, you don't get to see someone's, maybe they're introverted. Introverts do very well on social media, right? Because they're able to share this life and do all these things that they, in real life, maybe they're more quiet or toned down. So yeah, really hard to find out very hard to get a good take on someone. Let's play one more clip and then we'll see if we got the point of this.
We see that. And so you're almost always going to be let down otherwise. And so I'm done with being scammed in a way. I think this is a bad,
I love that quote.
Looked at in a bad way, but it's like we are the best version of ourselves on Instagram and social media platforms. So I'm just taking a step back from that. Not necessarily that I have they're building them up. It's just like that's what they show. So it's like, wow, all the boxes are checked here. Like, and then I get to real life and it's not necessarily the case.
Do you feel like that? I mean, obviously you go on this television show. It's 12 weeks of filming.
Right, so that's where it picks up what we already listened to. Oh, I love the quote. He says, "I'm done with being scammed." Yeah, bro. I get it. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it's like if you're ever arguing with a friend and you're like texting passive aggressively, eventually you're going to have to pick up the phone and talk like humans, right? So social media is a tool, but it's not the tool, right? It's a tool to meet new people and this and that. It's a tool to find a gig or express yourself or share your brand, but it's not the be all end all. And sometimes we need to get back to that old brick and mortar. So take your brick and mortar it on top of that subscribe button if you don't mind. Hit the like button, preferably an odd number of times. 3579 or even 1, and we'll have more content coming your way. We have a Dave Neal show coming next. That'll be some Olympic coverage on the Dave Neal show. Go to Dave Neal show on YouTube and you can check that out. We have daily non-Bachelor related content, and we appreciate you guys sticking around. Shout out to all the new Patreon members. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see all of you guys over there on patreon.com/Dave Neal. Bye everybody.